Hey there. Have you ever sat down with a cup of coffee in the morning and wondered what it would feel like to stay in your own home, surrounded by the things you love? Even as the years roll past 70, I know that thought crosses a lot of minds, especially when the idea of a nursing home starts creeping into conversations with friends or family. It's not just about where you live, it's about how you live. And I'm betting you'd rather keep your independence, your routines, and that cozy chair you've broken in just right. Well, I've got some good news for you. Staying out of a nursing home doesn't have to be a distant dream. It's something you can make happen with a few bold moves that don't require a complete overhaul of your life. In fact, these are practical, down-to-earth steps you can start weaving into your days, and they'll keep you strong, sharp, and right where you want to be. So, let's dive into this together. Over the course of this video, we'll walk through 5 bold moves that can help you stay out of a nursing home after 70. These aren't complicated tricks or expensive gadgets. They're real, doable changes that folks just like you have used to keep living life on their terms. And the best part? They're all about building on what you've already got, your experience, your grit, and your determination to keep calling the shots. Let's start with the first one, because it's something you can kick off today, and it might just surprise you how much it changes the game. The first bold move is all about moving your body, not in some grueling, sweat-soaked way, but in a way that feels good and keeps you steady. Now, I'm not talking about running marathons or lifting weights like you're training for the Olympics. Think simpler. Think walking around your yard, stretching while you watch the evening news, or even doing a little dance in the kitchen when your favorite song comes on. The key here is consistency, not intensity. A friend of mine, Betty, turned 72 last year, and she swore she'd never let herself get stuck in a chair all day. She started with just 10 minutes of walking around her block every morning, rain or shine, and now she's up to half an hour without even thinking about it. She says it's not just her legs that feel stronger, it's her whole outlook. And science backs her up. Regular movement keeps your muscles from wasting away, your joints from stiffening up, and your balance sharp enough to dodge those little trips that can turn into big problems. You don't need a fancy gym membership or a personal trainer. Just pick something you enjoy. Set aside a little time each day and watch how it starts to feel like second nature. Before you know it, you're not just staying out of a nursing home. You're strutting around like you own the place. Now, if moving your body keeps you physically in the game, the second bold move is about keeping your mind in top shape. I'm talking about staying curious and connected, not letting your brain gather dust just because the calendar says you're over 70. Think about it. Your mind's been solving problems, telling stories, and cracking jokes for decades. Why stop now? One of the easiest ways to keep it humming is to pick up something new. Not a huge project, but something fun that makes you think. My neighbor George, who's 75, started doing crossword puzzles every morning with his oatmeal. At first, he grumbled about missing half the clues, but now he's bragging about finishing them faster than his grandson. It's not just about the puzzles, though. Studies show that keeping your brain active with little challenges like that can fend off memory slips and keep you quick on your feet, mentally speaking. And it's not all solo work either. Chatting with friends, joining a book club, or even debating the best way to grow tomatoes with the guy next door. All of that keeps your mind buzzing and your spirits high. The trick is to stay engaged, because a sharp mind is one of the biggest weapons you've got to stay independent. So, we've got your body moving and your mind firing on all cylinders. 2 bold moves that already put you miles ahead of the game. But there's more to this, Because living on your own terms after 70 isn't just about what's going on inside. It's about how you set up the world around you. And that's where we're headed next. A move that's all about making your home work for you, not against you. Stick with me, because this one's a game changer you'll wish you'd thought of sooner. Alright, so we've got you moving your body and keeping your mind sharp. 2 big steps towards staying out of a nursing home and living life your way after 70. Now, let's talk about something that ties it all together, your home. The third bold move is about turning your space into your ally, not your enemy. You've probably spent years making your house or apartment your own. Those pictures on the wall, that creaky step you've learned to avoid, the way the light hits the kitchen just right in the morning. But as time goes on, little things can start to trip you up, literally or figuratively. And that's where a few smart tweaks come in. I'm not saying you need to renovate the whole place or move out. Just make it work for you so you can keep doing what you love without a hitch. Take my Aunt Clara, for example. She's 78 and still lives in the same 2-story house she raised her kids in. A couple of years ago, she noticed the stairs were getting tougher on her knees, and the idea of falling kept nagging at her. Instead of packing up and leaving, she got a handrail put in. Nothing fancy, just a sturdy grip, and moved her bedroom to the ground floor. It took a weekend to rearrange, and now she's got everything she needs, right where she can reach it. That's the kind of thinking I'm talking about. Small changes that make a big difference. Maybe for you, it's clearing out clutter so you don't stumble, putting a brighter bulb in the hallway, or swapping that slippery rug for something with a bit more grip. Look around and ask yourself, what's one thing that could make this place easier to navigate? You'd be amazed how a grab bar in the bathroom or a chair that's easier to get out of can keep you feeling in control. Your home's been your castle all these years. Let's keep it that way by making it a little safer and a lot more you-friendly. Now, while we're on the subject of control, let's slide into the 4th bold move, which is all about fueling yourself right. I know. Nobody wants a lecture about eating kale or giving up their favorite pie. And trust me, I'm not here to take the joy out of your meals. This is about eating in a way that keeps you strong and steady, not about following some strict diet that leaves you hungry and grumpy. Think of it like this. Your body's been running on what you give it for over 7 decades, and it's done a heck of a job. But as the years add up, you need a little extra help to keep humming along. My buddy Frank, who just hit 73, used to start his day with nothing but coffee and a donut. He'd crash by noon, feeling like he could barely lift the remote. One day, he swapped that out for some oatmeal with a handful of berries. Nothing gourmet, just simple stuff. And he couldn't believe how much longer he could go without needing a nap. It's not about perfection. It's about giving yourself the good stuff more often. Protein to keep your muscles from fading, veggies for the vitamins, and plenty of water so you don't dry out like an old houseplant. You don't have to overhaul your whole kitchen. Just nudge things in a direction that keeps you feeling like you can take on the day. Because when you're well fed, you're ready for anything. And that's a huge piece of staying out of a nursing home. So, we've made your home a fortress and your plate a power source. 2 more bold moves that build on everything we've talked about so far. You're already seeing how this all fits together, right? It's like a puzzle where every piece makes the picture clearer and stronger. And that brings us to the 5th move, which is all about leaning on the people around you, not in a needy way, but in a smart, practical way that keeps you in the driver's seat. Let's dive into that next, because it's a move that'll tie everything up with a bow. So here we are. Your body's moving, your mind sharp, your home set up to support you, and you're eating in a way that keeps you going strong. 70, and I bet you're feeling pretty good about where this is headed. Now, let's talk about the fifth move, and it's one that's all about the people in your life. I'm not saying you need to lean on everyone like a crutch. Far from it. This is about building a little team around you. Folks who've got your back, so you can keep running the show. Independence doesn't mean doing everything alone. It means knowing when to call in a favor or a helping hand to make your day smoother. Think about my pal Margaret. She's 76 and still lives in her own place, gardening and baking like nobody's business. A while back, she realized she couldn't keep up with the heavy yard work like she used to. Instead of letting it pile up or stressing herself out, she asked her grandson to swing by once a month to mow the lawn. In return, she sends him home with a batch of her famous cookies. It's a win-win. She keeps her garden looking sharp, and he gets a treat. That's the kind of thing I mean. Finding small ways to let family, friends, or even neighbors pitch in. Maybe it's someone to grab groceries when the weather's bad, or a buddy who's handy with a screwdriver to fix that wobbly shelf. You don't have to hand over the keys to your life. Just let the right people help with the little stuff, so you can focus on the big picture, living the way you want. And if you're thinking, I don't want to bother anyone, trust me, most folks are happy to lend a hand when it's for someone they care about. It's not about losing control, it's about keeping it by playing smart. Now, as we pull all this together, you can see how these 5 moves weave into something pretty powerful. Moving your body keeps you steady on your feet. Staying curious keeps your mind buzzing. Tweaking your home makes a safe haven. Eating well fuels you up. And leaning on your people lets you save your energy for what matters. It's not about doing everything at once or being perfect. It's about picking what works for you and starting small. Maybe tomorrow you take a short walk and call up a friend to chat. The next day, you toss some extra veggies on your plate and move that tricky rug out of the hallway. Little by little, these choices add up, and before you know it, you're not just avoiding a nursing home, you're thriving in your own space, on your own terms. I'd love to hear what you think about all this. Have you tried any of these moves already? Or is there one you're itching to start? Drop a comment below and let me know. Your story might just inspire someone else watching this to take that first step. And if you found this helpful, give the video a thumbs up. It really helps us reach more folks like you who want to keep living their best lives. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button too, because we've got more ideas coming your way to keep you strong, happy, and right where you belong at home. Here's to making every day after 71 worth celebrating.